So we're in the dark.
Yes, okay.
Everybody going to behave themselves in the dark? No? All right, you're my kind of crowd. There we go. So I think we are ready to start. Are we ready to start, Miss Cindy, our May Town Hall meeting? It is so nice, if I go like this, to see so many of you out there today. Did you know that today is International Cocktail Day? Somebody said yes. There we go. There we go. It's world. I guess it's not international. They call it World Cocktail Day. So, I was thinking last week for Cinco de Mayo, we did margaritas. This past weekend was Kentucky Derby, where they drink mint juleps. What should we do for today? Mike, Manhattans? You making Manhattans for everybody? Mike's just shaking his head out there saying, Jay, what the hell did you just do to me? So please raise a glass someplace today to celebrate World Cocktail Day. I can promise you I'll be having one or two of my own when I get home this evening. So we're not going to think of it as Friday the 13th. We're going to think of it as World Cocktail Day. All right? So there we go. So with that in mind, it looks like we need to plug this in so that we can start. Where's the thingy? The pointer doesn't work? See, this is what happens when you decide to rely upon technology. I don't know, but we're just going to have to wing it because it doesn't look like anything's plugged in for it to talk to it.
It doesn't want it.
It doesn't want it?
It doesn't like it.
It doesn't like it.
No.
Bad computer, bad computer. All right, so we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. So those of you who I drive for, you're on your own. So we're going to get rolling here, and we are going to start with our Administrator and Assistant Executive Director, Luann Del Pietro, who is going to come up to the podium as she ambles this way and share with us some updates about Village Point. So without further ado, here's Miss Luann.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. So nice to see everybody again today. The last time I was here, I was in a Yankee jersey, and we were celebrating opening day of baseball. Today, I'm dressed a little differently. We had planned a barbecue over at Village Point for the employees. Why we planned it on Friday the 13th, I have no idea, hence the rain, and needed to cancel, but we still are celebrating over there today nonetheless. So I'll start with our update on our census over at Village Point. Today we opened with a census of 102, so I'm excited about that because we are at and slightly above budget. For the month of April, we did average a census of 101. So again, we've been doing very well over there in maintaining a census. In our neighborhoods on Evergreen, we have 29 residents with just one open bed. On Sandalwood, we have 26. And on Willow, our memory unit, we are full at 30 right now. So very pleased with that. As far as COVID, I'm sure you've heard that, there's a rise in the current COVID cases. I'm happy to report that we remain COVID-free, all of our residents at Village Point. We do have 2 isolated cases of employees that have recently tested positive, but they're all doing well, and it's really, they contracted it on the outside with our contact tracing. We were able to identify that, isolate it, and we're keeping it at bay, thank goodness. And I'm sure, we'll see positive cases here and there as we continue to move through our pandemic. We are offering a booster clinic over at Village Point on May 18th if anyone is interested, and we encourage our staff to continue to booster. I also had the pleasure, since I saw you last, of meeting with Mr. Bernie Passer, and I was educated on all the great things that your Health Services Committee is doing over here at Monroe Village. You're doing wonderful things with education on topics that are very pertinent to the residents who live here. So I was happy to hear that. And most importantly, it was exciting to hear that it's a resident-driven committee. So there are quite a few healthcare professionals on that committee, and all good things are happening. And if I can be of any assistance at any time, please feel free to call on me. Looking ahead at what we have going on at Village Point, I know last time I mentioned that we're working on getting some identification, our logo entrance mat. Marketing at the home office is now helping with that, so hopefully by the time I return next month, we'll be able to provide a picture of what it looks like. We've been having a lot of celebrations over at Village Point. Last month was Occupational Therapy Month. We've had Administrative Professionals Week. We recently celebrated Nurses Day, and we're concluding today with Skilled Nursing Care Week. So we've had a lot of fun interactions between our residents and our staff, and as the motto is, happy staff, happy residents. So that's been our focus all month and this week. So that's really all I have. So thank you very much for listening, and great to see you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Luann. Great to hear about all the wonderful things that continue to happen over at Village Point. You know, it remains really interesting to me. You all know I'm kind of a numbers-driven guy, and when we look at what the census is over there, you know, as Luann reported, we've remained somewhere between, I'm going to call it 82 and 88% occupied out of 120 beds over there, which is pretty good, especially when you look at what the average is these days in a skilled nursing facility or a rehab community like Village Point that tends to be in the low to mid 70% occupancy. So us sitting in the mid 80% occupancy is really a good thing, and it's a testament to the exceptional care and service that's being provided over there by our staff at Village Point. So to Luann, to Tara, to the rest of the team over there, keep doing all the good work you've been doing. I know you have lots of positive outcomes, and people are really happy with what they're doing, and that's why we continue to be pretty full. So thank you. Speaking of being pretty full, we're going to move on next to Nathan Perez, our Director of Sales and Marketing, who has a lot of news to share with you with what's going on. And a lot of new folks coming in. He's going to be very careful as he works his way up here. And with that, here's Nathan.
Hello, everybody.
Sweet spot. Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to get rid of
it
the
looks a
thing.
little funky.
All right. So we will start with a roll-up of the activity and metrics from last month. In the month of April, we had a goal of 4 sales, and we did have 8 deposits, so that's great. We also had 1 assisted living deposit as well in there that I didn't count, but we had 4 closings as a goal, and we did have 2 closings hit the books. So those 8 deposits, they are obviously moving in over the next 60 to 90 days, so that's giving us a really great pipeline moving forward. In April, we also had a downsizing event. It is a lead progression type event, so this is an event that's designed for folks that have already raised their hand, have already inquired, and are a little bit further in the process, so they are not meant to be very large events. They're meant to be a little bit smaller. We did have 18 RSVPs for that, and one of our future residents and incoming depositor, she attended that. She found it very useful. So that is a great event that we had. Inquiries are remaining above goal. We had a goal of 74 inquiries for the month. 67 inquiries for the month, and we achieved 74. So we are continuing to see a good amount of traction for inquiries. A tiny bit of a slowdown over the past month or so with just kind of what's going on out in the world, but we are still seeing, I would say, a steady lead flow. And we are continuing to build that good pipeline of closings and move-ins. We have, I think another 7 move-ins for the month this month. We've got 4 for the following, and even a few into July and August already, as well as a few more deposits coming in this month. So this is just really giving us a good pipeline through the summer months, okay? How you folks can help As always, refer your friends to us, put out the good word about Monroe Village. If you do bring us the contact information for your friend or family member, they end up moving in, we give you 1 month free after they move in. So just keep that good word going to your friends and family members. You can always provide a testimonial for our website, collateral, or social media page. We do post a lot on those channels, if you will, and that's how a lot of people will find us out there in the world now. A lot of people always just, in this day and age, find us on their cell phone. So the more digital feed we can get, the more digital channels we can get us onto, the better we are. And then you can also take part in welcoming all of the new residents and prospects to Monroe Village. You guys are always really great at saying hello to everybody. Just keep that up for us. It really does make a differentiator when people are looking at communities, just to get a sense of the warmth and friendliness that we have going on in the community. And then speaking of new residents, I just wanted to welcome to the family these residents. Mary Leck joined us in April. George Murchaki. Virginia Menkes, she joined us in our assisted living community, but you'll see her over here a little bit as well because she's pretty active. And Miss Joan Martin just closed, I believe, earlier this week. So welcome to the family and a good Monroe Village hello to all of our new residents. Thank you all for your support as always.
Thank you, Nathan. As we see more and more folks coming to join the Monroe Village family, which is great. And one of the things that Nathan mentioned was, the digital media and how that continues to be more and more and more of the way that folks first learn about us and find out about us. And one of the ways you can help us with that digital media, well, there's several ways. One is you can help us by writing a review, and Nathan and Joe and the other folks in the sales department can help you with that to get something like that posted. We'd love to have a positive review written and posted out there in the interwebs, as my kids call them, for us, so folks can hear directly from you what you think of our community. And then the other thing that we do a lot of, you may notice we have different events and programs, somebody might be taking pictures. And those end up a lot of times getting posted on our Facebook page, and we get lots of positive feedback from that as well, because again, those pictures, they show what real life is like here, what we do, how we get along, things we do for fun, things we do to learn. So when you see somebody around with the camera, ham it up, okay? Look good, and we'll get those pictures posted on Facebook as well. So the one who's responsible for all of those fun events, among so many other things, is Miss Cindy Felter, our Director of Resident Services. And she is going to come up here next and hopefully be able to navigate the computer.
Yes.
Because I'm not driving,
Right.
and tell you, I gotta stay further away from this, tell you all about all of the wonderful things that we've got going on now and coming up in the next few weeks. So here's Cindy. Okay, yeah, it's cool.
Hello! Do we have any Seinfeld people in the house? That was an episode of Seinfeld. There we go. Anyway. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you today. I'm so glad there's so many people here today. So I'll get right to it because there's a few people who need to follow me. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the upcoming entertainment. I'm going to give you a quick blurb so that you'll know what's going on when it comes on. Not just, the name and the date, but what's going on. So today, we have Rebecca Diamond coming at 1:30 in the auditorium. Let me do this. And she's going to be featuring Shirley Jones' music and her life. So Shirley Jones from the Partridge Family, Oklahoma. So that'll be entertaining. Monday the 16th, we have the Women of the Supreme Court at 1:45. And she dresses the part, and it's always she always brings a lot of information, and she's entertaining as well. Wednesday, May 18th, we have a Hawaiian luau at 2 in the auditorium with 2 luau dancers, so I hope you'll be there. Friday, May 20th, we have Crystal Daniels at 1:30. She is a singer. She's going to be doing classical and musical theater selections. Okay, and then let's see. I did it.
Well done.
Thank you, sir. Saturday, May 21st, we have Demetria Joyce Bailey's Ladies Swinging. This is going to be a story and song about the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. Ella Fitzgerald, I know somebody was asking me about getting music from that time, so we have Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Rosemary Clooney, sisters. Thank you, Bob. Okay, Saturday, May 28th, we have Fred Moyer at 7:15, and he is a pianist, a classical pianist, so that should be entertaining. And Monday, May 30th, we have our beloved Mike Malone in the auditorium, and he does everything. So that's the entertainment, to give you a kind of a quick, so when you're looking, you can remember, oh, that's what that person does, because we're very limited in how much we can put on our weekly schedules. Oh, this is very exciting. So we have a director coming, and he is going to be teaching, and he's going to be doing table readings, and it's just fabulous that we're finally getting a theater professional here. So he's going to be here Thursday, May 19th at 3:45 in the clubhouse. If you're interested, please come. And he's going to get a sense of what you all want to do, because we want to follow up with the wonderful job Shirley did with the Purim play. That was so much fun. So we want to capture that and run with it. Okay. Then the next thing on that day at it's before that. This is at 1:30. We have the Village Ensemble. So we have a piano player, Charles, who's coming, and he's going to be doing like a sing-along, but I think it's going to be an ongoing chorus. So that'll be fabulous for the people who have asked about that. Okay, it is now time for the 2022 Health and Wellness Live Well Fair, and this is the first event that we're kicking off for Alzheimer's awareness and fundraising. So this is going to be Wednesday, May 25th at 1:30 in the clubhouse, and really interesting vendors. I hope you'll all come because they're a little different this year. We have somebody who can. We have some people who are limited in what they can eat with their diet. So this Chefs for Seniors is coming, and they're going to be discussing what they can provide. They'll come and they'll bring the food to you in your apartment, which is wonderful. So stay tuned for that. And then what's exciting is our girl Gina DePiro, who is an ambassador for the Alzheimer's Association, is going to Washington, D.C. next week to talk to senators and Congress people about funding and laws that need to be on their agenda. So it's very exciting. We wish her well. We're very proud of her and her passion. So this is her first, and she is very passionate about raising money. So this is her first fundraiser. So snacks are for donation. There'll be gift baskets. So I hope you'll all come. Okay, please hold. Okay, so we have been very excited about our apps launch. This is the app that you will have on your phone. You can download it, your family can download it, you can go on and you can see your phone or your tablet. You can see what's for dinner. You can see the specials, you can see the activities, you can get staff's phone numbers. It's gonna be huge. So we're starting the rollout Monday, May 23rd. We're gonna have AM and PM sessions, so stay tuned for that. If you have questions, because there's a lot going on, we have happy appers who are the resident volunteers who will be helping with that, and we're gonna teach people in small groups and then one-on-one so that you can access all this wonderful information. It's very exciting. Okay. And then, just so you know, we're gearing up for a Memorial Day celebration. Steve does an excellent job at this. So if you would like to help out, please contact him. And what's his phone number?
6477.
Okay, thank you.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah. Okay, and golf. Golf is back on the agenda. So if you're interested in playing, please let us know. We have opened up our membership with Concordia. So that is very exciting, and you can look for the enrollment meeting. It's going to be on Channel 1979. If you're not apt to sit and watch Channel 1979, you can call Steve. Okay. And thank you to Helen Cohen for sharing her treasures out in our display case out there. And if you have something that, collection of things that you would like to share with us, let us know, and we would love to feature it in that display case. And it's time again for our Circle of Remembrance. We have our new chaplain, Jenny, who is going to be heading this year. And we have the special guest, Reverend Terry's coming up for it. So it's very exciting. And what it is we feature and remember our residents who have passed in the last year. And it's good for everybody to kind of feel a sense of closure and appreciation of these people who were such a part of our family. So I hope you will come for that. That's June 16th at 11:30. And I think this is my last one. Yes. So massage therapy, in case you didn't know, we do have a massage therapist right now named Joanne, and you can make an appointment and go see her. I know we have a few people who have been using her, but that is available. It's over by the community room, by the gym. So I hope you will take advantage of all of the fun, interesting things we've got going. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Cindy. Once again, lots of good stuff going on, whether it's educational, entertainment, or just drinking. I mean, they're all good, right? So lots of stuff to do. Massage, education with the upcoming health fair, lots of good stuff like that. So our next presenter is the yin to Cindy's yang. They are partners in crime when it comes to a lot of things in our community. And Ed Petrowski is our Director of Clinical Services, overseeing both the clinic and the personal care services, as well as our assisted living community. Many of you may have heard Ed's name. You may have met him once or twice. He's been with us about 6 months now. So we decided it was time to throw him to the wolves and bring him in here and let you all give him a hard time. You ready for that? All right, give him a hard time. All right, without further ado, Ed Petrowski.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Just to let you know, our COVID booster clinic is scheduled for next week on the 18th. We're going to be having it in the Fireside restaurant. So after you're done with your vaccination, then you could go sit outside for the recommended 10-15 minutes. We'll be hauling by wings. It'll start at 9:30 in the morning, go through wing A, B, and C. Lunchtime, we'll take a break, and then D, E, and F. I know some of you have things planned, so if there's no one waiting down there, come on in and we'll squeeze you in. Our pneumonia clinic is there to follow after. We don't have a date for that yet because the COVID took precedence over that. That we're in the making, so we just have to run everyone's insurance. When did you have it last? And then go from there. We'll get a date out to you as soon as possible. And then after our health and wellness fair, that is the following Wednesday, May 25th. That will be in here in the auditorium, and we'll be sharing a table with the resident health committee too.
That's it.
That's it. And like Jay said, I'm here 6 months. How am I doing?
Give him a round of applause. Thank you, Ed. So Ed has a boat, and he likes to go out fishing. Sometimes he goes outside into the ocean. He was telling the other day what there were 9 to 12 foot swells were forecast,
Yeah.
and he decided that was not a good idea to go out. I said, good job, Ed, 9 to 12 foot swells. If you do make it back, your stomach probably won't, because it'll be that much up and down and back and forth. So we're very happy to have Ed as a part of the team. He brings a lot of great knowledge and insight and background and a perspective that really has been very, very beneficial to our community and to our residents. So we'll keep you for another 6 months, Ed, okay? All right. Very good. Well, what did Ed do here? Maybe we won't keep Ed for another 6 months.
What was that?
All right, I think I may have fixed this. We'll see here. So next up, we're going to move from health and wellness inside to health and wellness outside, and we have a special presentation from Susan Sino from the Spring Point Foundation. We all know and love Susan. The foundation does so many great things for our community and throughout Spring Point, and to be honest, even throughout outside of Spring Point at times too, in supporting others in the community in need. And we have been partnering with Susan here at Monroe on a special project, first of its kind here, and we thought it was important to give everyone a little bit of an update on where we stand with things on the gateway to Monroe Village. So I call upon, she may be short in stature, but she is tall in so many other ways, Susan Sino.
Well, thank you for that amazing welcome, Jay. Hello, Monroe Village. Okay, everybody's still moving around, I see it. So thank you for having me. I promise not to make it too long, but the gateway to Monroe Village, as Jay had shared, is the first of its kind here at Monroe Village. It is your opportunity to give back to your home, and guess what? You get to see the changes this year. You're going to see a beautiful gateway. So let's show you some photographs. Are you ready? You ready?
All right.
All right. So this is your existing entrance. Notice the center island, how the black mulch is there, and the trees that are currently there are kind of just falling apart, and we'll go through that.
We're going to back you a little bit away. We lost the cover to this, which is what's causing the problem. So.
How's that, better? Alrighty. So now we want to take you also to the existing drive, which is right by Village Point. See all the blacktop, see all the trees deteriorating. We want to replace this and give you an opportunity to help us do this. So here's where we want to go. The weakness of the cherry trees, I get asked this a lot. Why are we replacing the cherry trees? The cherry trees, if you don't know, are very finicky trees. The cherry trees in Washington, D.C., they replace 90 trees a year. 90. They cannot keep them alive, and they have a full-time team to manage the cherry trees. So we here at Monroe Village need to find the trees that are easy maintenance for us. So here's what we're going to do. The proposed tree is called a Kentucky coffee tree. It is drought resistant, rain resistant, it's healthy, it's simple, it's going to bring noise reduction, more nature, birds, they're going to grow larger to cover the drive, and they are going to bring you just much joy with the different seasons. In the winter, you see the branches are very creative, so the snow and everything staying on there will be beautiful. The leaves themselves change colors. So you have 4 seasons of enjoying these trees versus one blossom of cherry trees. So I think you're going to find you will enjoy them. We have the inspiration of where we are going. How's that look? Nice?
Very pretty.
You're still thinking about it. Okay, so here is what the proposed entrance will look like. The plan is that the trees that will be planted will be larger and higher than the current cherry trees. So already you will be at an advantage this fall when the trees are planted. You'll also see grass versus the black mulch. And you're gonna notice the drive is just gonna have the flags that we're putting in, the welcoming, and it's gonna be much warmer as far as, making you smile when you come in. Here is the proposed drive. Remember, the last one we saw was the mulch. We saw Village Point. It just kind of was like just the building. Here we bring more softness to our entrance and a smile. We'll have more nature as well. The entrance, in 20 years, these trees will grow quickly and they will remain healthy as well. And I think we have some tree experts or botanists in our resident staff. And I'm sure he or she would be happy, Mary, I think, would be happy to share her opinion as well. Here's the proposed drive in 20 years. It just keeps getting better.
Gonna be around
Now, a high overview of the look. The trees will be in the center. There will also be trees currently where there are none. The grass will be there. And you will benefit from celebrating the installation of these trees. We have an arborist at Meadow Lakes. He will manage the project, bring all the vendors in, and you will get to observe. We'll have a ribbon cutting and a celebration.
20 years.
So where are we? We started this campaign late last year. We are at 75% towards our goal. Yes, 75%. So we have received $30,000 from you, your neighbor, and we thank you for your generosity. Today we ask you to think about, if you haven't already donated, or if you have and you want to do a little more, consider helping us reach our goal of $40,000. We are so excited. This is the first time at Monroe Village, first time ever. I can't tell you enough how exciting it is that we have offered something for the community back to you that you can see and physically hold on to and enjoy while you're here. So I will be here for questions. We also have a new handout right here. This is information only. It shares with you why we're replacing the cherry trees, what the damages are on the current trees, and it answers some questions on why we are asking you to donate. We also have, as you have seen, the form here. They're all in the mailroom. This is if you want to donate. This is your option here. It's totally your decision. We offer that in the mailroom. This is also downstairs by Steve's office. We're very, very excited. I can't thank you enough for having me. And if you have questions, I will be in the back handing out our information only trifold, and we have some posters in the back for you to look at as well. Does anybody have a question? Oh, do I do that?
We'll hold them till the end.
We're gonna hold questions for later. Thank you. Thank you for having me. You've been a great audience.
Thank you, Susan. So I've been in the market for some trees at home myself lately, and it is amazing the variety of species that are out there. And when Kim and I first started saying we had a couple of trees that died and started to figure out why they had died, they've been on our property for many years. We started learning more from arborists about certain trees and diseases and things that are good and that are bad. And they're really, there are some trees that look beautiful in a moment, but are not long-lived trees. We had a plum tree for one, just to give you an example, that was a pretty plum, pretty flowers, does lots of things. We planted it when we built the house, never knowing that we learned 15 years later that they have about a 15-year life, and then they kind of, kick the bucket, and that's exactly what this one started to do, and went from being a beautiful tree to really an eyesore in our front lawn, and had to take it out. So in learning about all of this, it really led me to think, more about the project we had already started here, and recognizing that to get good trees, or to get a good landscape, I guess is really what I should say, you need to be very smart about the trees that you pick and find things that not only may have beauty to them, but not just in a moment, but will have beauty that is long lasting. And the cherry trees, again, as we've said, as pretty as they are, they're diseased. They're dying. They're either going to be replaced now and with something that's beautiful and well thought out, or they're going to die on their own over the next few years, and then we won't have a beautiful look coming into our campus. The Kentucky coffee tree does give that four-season interest. That's another term that I learned as we've been looking at trees, something that has something distinct about it each season of the year, whether it's the leaves or whether it's the branching or the bark, different things, different seasons. And I do think it really will enhance the look and the feel of our campus and really give us all something to be proud of, because we will have done it together. And I think that's really a great thing, and I'm excited as we reach the conclusion. I never would have thought in such a short period of time we would have hit 75% of our goals, so we're not that far away. We're not that far away. If you think about it, if you're able to make a donation of just $250, all we need is 40 people to give us $250, and then we're there. And if some folks are more generous, or able to be more generous than that, it'll happen even quicker. So I encourage you all to really think about it. Landscaping is something that has long lasting implications well beyond all of us, and it's something that will remain on the campus long after all of us are gone, that many people will be able to enjoy for years to come. Okay, and speaking of enjoying things, we do enjoy food around here. All right, I heard the Snickers out there in the hallway. The Peanut Gallery need not comment. So we're going to bring in Mike Wierzbowski, our Director of Dining Services, who's going to share with you some of the fun things we've been doing in dining, a few announcements, and some fun things we have planned coming up. So without further ado, here's our Director of Dining Services, Mike Wierzbowski.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy World Cocktail Day, if I remember.
Yes.
Jay doesn't know it every Friday is a happy cocktail. So, we wanted to just update everyone. It's a very busy time right now in dining services. We have a lot of things going on. Some of the past events and things like that we've done, we've had our Passover celebration, Easter Sunday, Mother's Day, we've had Cinco de Mayo, and coming up we will have a luau that Cindy had mentioned earlier, so we'll be doing some specials in the Fireside Restaurant on the day of the luau, which is May 18th. And also coming up is the first of our summer holidays. Believe it or not, it seems like it was just snowing last week.
Yeah.
But it's Memorial Day is coming up on the 30th, and we will be doing just a reminder to everyone on these summer holidays, which is Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Labor Day. We do have our hours changed a little bit, so the Fireside Restaurant on Monday, May 30th, Memorial Day, will be serving from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on those days. Okay, and it will be closed for dinner. So the next, have some other exciting news in terms of, I hit the space bar.
Hit the space bar.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. We have hired a new dining room manager, Adele Gadd. I think this is his 5th day working here with us at Monroe Village. So Adele will be overseeing the front of the house operations in all 3 areas, which is the Fireside Restaurant, the Village Bistro, and in the assisted living as well. So we welcome Adele. He's has a lot of good ideas. He's very hands-on. He's very active during the meal service, and I think he will be a great compliment to our 3 hostesses who are down in the Fireside Restaurant, as well as complimenting Shay, who's our relatively new hostess up in the Village Bistro. So we have a really good team that we've been, despite the struggles with the labor and things like that, we are putting a good team together in the front of the house and in the back of the house. So we, welcome Adele. And I wanted to also mention Candy Skoke, who has been our assistant dining room manager here for many years, has decided to relocate and move to sunny Florida. So her daughter and son-in-law and her 2 grandchildren are down in Florida. They live in Florida. So I'm very happy, that Candy will be able to spend some more time with her grandchildren. She will be leaving us at the end of this month. So, please wish Candy well. It's a big move for Candy, and, we wish her nothing but the best. And like I said, she'll be able to spend some more time with her grandkids, which I'm sure is, many of you folks know that's important, especially when they're younger, because, they grow up fast. Jay and I both have children, and it's here today, and they're off to college. It seems, it's that quick. So we wish Candy well. We also have been continuing to hire some new wait staff. We do have three more servers that we have hired. They have either just started their training or they are in the Monroe Village, the hiring process. So, we're still continuing to make some progress with that. And, coming up, a lot of my employees will be finishing up their college semesters, and high school will be ending in a few more weeks. So, they will have some increased availability. So we hope to do a little bit more in terms of reopening, especially, mainly pertaining to the Fireside Restaurant. Yeah, so we had mentioned, some of our past events that we did. We did Cinco de Mayo in conjunction with Steve and the Livewell team. I know we had churros at happy hour that day. And, we did celebrate our Mother's Day brunch on Sunday, May 8th. And as I mentioned, some of the upcoming events that we have is the Luau on May 18th, Memorial Day on May 30th, and then Father's Day in June. So we also, with the hiring of the staff and with, Adele now onboarded, we have reopened the Fireside Restaurant on every Monday now. So, that kind of gets us one step closer, to being back to normal hours for everyone. So the Fireside Restaurant will now be open every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for brunch, and now Monday. So we're kind of got us over, the hump for the week in terms of reopening, and we're going to continue to push to, get it back open 7 days a week. And that's pretty much all I have for today. So just once again, please continue. I have many residents who continue to reach out to me via email and make me aware of things or some suggestions and things for menu items that they would like to have on the menu and specials. So I encourage everyone to continue to please contact me if you need any reservations or orders for the Village Bistro. Once again, the extension is 6432. For orders and reservations in the Fireside Restaurant, please call extension 6433. We have the menu information line that you can call. That's 6485. The daily specials for both restaurants are available by calling extension 6485. And there will be more as we move forward with the Monroe Village Community app. As Cindy Felter had mentioned, you will be able to see the specials on the community app as well. So that will be yet another source of information for all of our residents here at Monroe Village to see what the specials are a few more days in advance than what's available on Touchtown right now. So that's a good, step forward with the technology. And I think that's it. So thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
you, Mike. Lots of good stuff again. Looking forward to more of those special events we got coming up, and as we continue to restaff, I'll put it that way. You see, our goal is getting back to those 7 days a week in the Fireside Restaurant. We've gotten to 4, and I think as the kids finish up college for the semester and come home for the summer, and the high school kids are done for the year as well, we'll be able to get back to that 7 days a week pretty fast. So, it's down to me. And since we're on the dining kick, I do want to share with you some information that has been discussed with your executive committee leadership as well as the dining services committee. We, all of Spring Point, are entering into a partnership with Morrison Living. We recognize that our dining program could use additional support, additional tools, additional resources that, to be honest, as a single provider, it's kind of hard for us to harness. So we looked around and we said, all right, so Spring Point and Monroe Village and all of our other communities are senior living communities that happen to serve food. So we need to find a partner who is a food service or a restaurant company who happens to serve seniors, to find that partnership that really can work well. So we've been looking at it for quite some time and have decided to partner with a group called Morrison Living. And Morrison Living is part of a larger company called Compass Group. And they are actually the largest contract food service company in the world and the 6th largest employer on the planet. So these guys don't fool around. They are the best in their class, the best in industry. They do all sorts of programming, whether it be in senior living communities like ours. They also partner with PMC, with Penn Princeton Hospital, a variety of other healthcare, true healthcare hospital settings. They also do schools, whether it be colleges and universities or elementary and high schools through the Compass Group. This is not just Morrison Living. They also do sports venues. They do campus, or what I'm going to call corporate dining, rather, on business campuses. So they're a very, very large company, and Morrison Living is their division specifically focused on folks like us, on senior living communities like Monroe Village and like the others in the Spring Point family. So we're really excited to be partnering with them because that's going to give our dining services team additional tools and resources that, just as I said, currently are not available to us. It's going to give Mike a wealth of resources that he can call upon for different menus, different ideas, different programs, different thoughts, different ways to do things, food products, materials, equipment, etc., etc., etc. But the important thing for us, not only are we getting all of this new information or all of these new tools that we're going to get to put in our toolbox, the thing is, we're keeping all of the same folks we already have. So no one who we see on a day-to-day basis is going to change. Mike is going to remain our director of dining services. The folks you see in the bistro or down in the Fireside Restaurant are all going to remain the same. It was important for us that we made sure that as we do this transition, that everyone who works at Monroe Village in our dining services department has the opportunity to become part of the Morrison team that will be serving us here. And they'll be doing it at the same rate of pay and the same years of service, same benefits, etc., so that we made sure that as we went through this transition, none of our employees would be harmed as we look for ways to create better programs and better services for all of you, our residents. So this transition is going to begin on June 1st. You won't see anything really new or different, I think, in the short term, but some behind the scenes stuff are going to start on June the 1st. And then as we go through the summer months, we may start to roll out some new programs and ideas and events. But like I said, I am pretty excited about this. I think it is going to be a good benefit for our dining services program. It's going to enhance the offerings we provide to all of you. And it's also going to give our dining services team, like I said, new tools, more resources, and opportunities to grow our program to even greater heights. All right, so from talking food to talking trash, let's hit the 800-pound gorilla. So at last month's town hall meeting, we talked about residents and concerns with trash, and that there are many residents who have been displeased for quite some time. Years and years, it's been an ongoing issue on our campus with the trash disposal system, let's put it that way. That folks are to put the trash outside their doors on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays after 2 p.m., and the housekeeping team comes around late in the day and picks it up. It has, been something that has been a struggle. Some folks don't like seeing trash outside the doors at all, regardless of what time. We've received a lot of resident complaints and concerns about that. Some folks struggle to remember the days and the times that they need to put their trash out, which creates a whole nother level of struggle for some residents and for those who have concerns about the trash. Some folks are concerned that trash in the hallways can lead to bugs, can lead to stains, can lead to problems. So we've been thinking about how can we do something different. And we're trying an experiment. And the residents on the second floor of the F wing have been kind enough to be our guinea pigs. And the reason that we chose the second floor of the F wing was because we needed to find a new space where we could do something with trash. And over the years, we've put washers and dryers in many, many, many resident apartments. Originally at Monroe Village, I don't think any of the apartments had washers and dryers. So now, about 70% of you have washers and dryers in your apartments. So the need for the public washers and dryers in the laundry rooms is not as great as it once was. So on the second floor of the F wing, all of the residents have their own washers and dryers. So the washers and dryers in the second floor F wing laundry room very, very, very rarely get used, especially by those people on the second floor of the F wing. So we, in an experiment, have converted the second floor F wing laundry room to a second floor F wing trash room, where the residents on the second floor of F wing can deposit their trash, their garbage, and their recycling 24 hours a day. There are garbage cans and recycle cans in that common space. And then once a day, the housekeeping team, so every day, once a day, the housekeeping team comes and picks up the garbage from those trash rooms, from those bins, and puts it out in our dumpsters. And what this enables us to do is not to ask residents to hold on to their garbage until a particular day for pickup anymore, and not to have to remember when they need to put it out or what they need to do with it. You just, when you have a little bit of trash, you take it down to the trash room and you get rid of it, and then it doesn't sit in your apartment potentially attracting bugs, potentially having odors, or sitting outside doing the same. So far, the feedback has been positive. As I said, this is an experiment in one wing of our building on one floor right now to see how it goes. With 70% of our residents not needing washers and dryers in public spaces anymore, we think this is something that we can do to respond to a resident concern and a resident request in trying something new and different. So we're going to keep trying it. We're going to see how it goes for a little bit. We recognize that if we were to expand this, there are certain things we need to think about. Number one, there are still 30% of the residents who don't have a washer and dryer, so we can't eliminate all the washers and dryers that are in public areas. Two, even for people who do have washers and dryers in their apartments, sometimes you need a bigger washer and dryer for things like, comforters or sheets or things like that you may want to wash that maybe don't do so well in the smaller washers and dryers in the apartments. So again, there's a reason to recognize we cannot eliminate all of the public washers and dryers. However, we also do recognize that residents don't want to see the garbage out, so we have a way to do that. For the folks who may struggle with the ability to take garbage down to a central location, if we expand the program, we will deal with those folks and help them out on an individual basis as to what their needs may be. Carrying a little bag of garbage out, to be honest, is really not much different than what our folks do now in carrying a package back from, if you have leftover food from the restaurant or if you're picking up your takeout. We see it as small packages. You can get rid of just a little bag at a time. You don't need to wait for the trash to build up before you get rid of it. And again, the other way to think of it, when people were taking laundry down to a laundry room, imagine trying to haul a bag of laundry and a bucket of detergent down to a place like that. That's a lot harder than needing to carry a little bag of garbage. So we're going to continue to watch it. We're going to continue to think about it, refine it. But right now it's just being a trial in that one area. All right, concrete and asphalt work. So the weather has deterred us a little bit on this project, but I did want you to know, and those of you who live in and around parking lot 3 noticed that earlier this week we removed and replaced the concrete outside of parking lot 3 where we had some deterioration, as well as over near the assisted living entrance. We're ready to do the area as well in the pond area between the fitness center and the E-wing entrance, if you know where I mean, sort of heading, if you're heading out to the raised garden beds, that whole area in there. The weather today stopped us from digging that up and replacing that. That was on today's agenda, but we needed to give that a pause until the beginning of next week. So we will take care of that area as well, along with the asphalt work that we have scheduled for next week, which would be some of the potholes that we had to wait until the spring to take care of in the roadway, as well as replacement or milling and repaving of some of the asphalt, particularly out back, I'm going to call it, near the fitness center area, near the raised garden beds, the shuffleboard area, all of that back there. That's part of our project and working our way around with the asphalt work on the campus. So all of that is scheduled to occur next week. So we ask for your patience, and your understanding. If we have to sort of, send people in different ways traffic-wise over the next week as we complete that work. And finally, I have another letter from the Monroe mailbag. And you thought the one from last month was hard to read. This one's even harder as far as the print, because there were so many good things to say. So I'm going to read this one to you. And it's going to mention somebody that I hope you all remember, or at least those of you who've been here for a few years remember. So the letter was, I am the director of nursing from the Landing at Hamilton. I had the pleasure of going to see Village Point today to do an assessment. As you can imagine, as the DON, Director of Nursing, I get to see a lot of communities. I also get to meet a lot of people in my travels. Going to your community today, the first word that comes to mind is, wow. Kudos to you and your team for running such a lovely community. I've gone to so many rehabs that are so chaotic, unwelcoming, noisy, dirty. I could go on, but you get the picture. I was greeted warmly at the front desk and the concierge was very helpful. I have to give a special thanks to Kelly, the nurse in Aspen. I've had nurses who wouldn't even acknowledge my presence, offer me any assistance, and frankly, were downright rude. Kelly was none of those things. She took time out to talk to me about the patient and answered all of my questions. She never once made me feel like I was bothersome or that she had more important things to do. As I was finishing my assessment, Kelly again offered more assistance and could not have been kinder. I can only hope that I will have the opportunity to come back to your community in the future. These days, I feel people only take the time to complain and point out shortcomings. From one nurse to another, I know Kelly had more important things to do, but it didn't show. Thank you for indulging me this opportunity to report something good. We are so quick to reprimand, but slow to praise. I just felt like I needed to tell you this because Kelly's actions today reminded me of why we do what we do. Please pass along my thanks to her for her time and graciousness. Does anybody know the Kelly that I'm referring to here? Yes. Who can tell me? Where did Kelly used to work? In the bistro and dining, exactly. Kelly used to be one of our hostesses, and she went on to nursing school and got her RN, and she is now our unit coordinator over in the Aspen neighborhood at Village Point. Aspen is our subacute neighborhood, which is where the neighborhood over there, Village Point, where folks tend to go for rehab, to get better, to get well, and then return home, wherever home may be. And I just wanted to share this letter that we got with all of you to show you that look at what Kelly has done. I'm so proud of her. You know, someone who started with us as a high school student, you know, working in our dining room, worked her way up to leadership responsibilities in dining, was inspired by our residents to go into nursing, and not only to go into nursing, but to stay in nursing for seniors. And now to have risen to the point of a leadership role as an RN is incredible. And even more so, to be recognized by someone from another community really says something. So kudos to Kelly, kudos to the Village Point team and all that they're doing over there. I just think it's great to see when folks who've been with us a long time and had the opportunity to grow continue to shine. So kudos to Kelly, and yes, absolutely. So if you have someone you would like to recognize, please send me a note. It can be handwritten, it can be an email, and then maybe you or that person will be featured in next month's Monroe mailbag. So with that, we are going to open it up for comments and questions. We'll turn the lights on, and I'm not sure who has the microphone. Cindy's going to grab the microphone, which is in here.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So we will wait for hands raised and then come around with the mic.
I was just wondering if it would be possible to have more round tables in the dining room. So often there are 6 at a table, and it's really quite hard to have a conversation. Or sometimes we just wind up with, like, if it's 3 and 3 that we do. So I wondered if you could just make a note, you know, for dining service, if they could do that for us.
We could certainly look at that, Millie. That would require us buying some other tabletops and stuff. And yeah, that's something we can think about.
Anyway, I wondered if Steve wasn't here today, but I just wondered if we could possibly have more movies it's shown both in the apartment and the auditorium. So many times, you know, we would just like to curl up and stay put, many of us, in the apartment. So I wondered if we could possibly do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I see some hands toward the back. Maybe we should take a second. For the record, I was not the one that said, oh boy.
I just wanted to take a
Hey,
minute
Jill.
to recognize Ed. Ed has been very responsive, and since this is Nurses Month, I wanted to offer my congratulations to him as a fellow nurse. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Where praise is due, your choice of Adele was excellent. He's visible, he's helpful, he's kind, he's wonderful.
Yes, he's doing a great job, isn't he? In just a few days, he's already made his mark. Isn't that great? Yes.
Pay back and double.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be sure to pass that along to Adele as well. Hi, Elvira.
Hi. I just wanted to let everybody know that this Kelly, who is doing these wonderful things, was one of the last 2 people to get a scholarship from the thrift store.
Yep.
And that was just last year, I think. It was the last time we gave money away.
Yep. And there you go. And that really shows you how giving back can have an impact on our own community. Thank you for noticing and reminding us of that. Hi, Fran.
Hi there. I'm okay?
You're good.
Now, I am taking care of the wonderful garbage. I don't have any problems. I live in the F wing on the 2nd floor. So the garbage is not a problem. Really.
Somebody's calling to say otherwise, apparently.
Yeah. But I do have a question. The first floor only has one working washer and dryer. It's not unfair. It's very unfair because I like to go down to that floor. It's easier, as you say, to do my large items. So I thought that when you took out the two beauties from my floor, you would replace that immediately.
Okay, let me find out what's going on with that one. And in the
really appreciate that.
absolutely. And in the meantime, I'd also suggest if you don't want to go down, you can either go over to the D wing, which is there, or up to the third floor. Either of those would work too.
Okay, the other thing is, as far as Kelly is concerned, I was in the rehab, and Kelly is very easy to work with.
Yeah, she's great. She really is. Absolutely. Thank you. All right, let's see. I got a couple up front. Let's see. Cindy is making her way. We'll hit Ruth next. We won't literally hit you, Ruth, I promise.
Is it the plan to put washers and dryers in all the other apartments?
Over time, yes. However, there are some apartments where it's not feasible no matter what we would do, particularly some of the smaller apartments. And that's why we recognize if we were to continue with this program and expand or continue to convert, I'm going to put it that way, laundry rooms to trash rooms, that we would need to leave laundry rooms in strategic locations, particularly around those apartments that we may not be able to put a washer and dryer in at all. But if there's an apartment we can do it in, as we go through things, we will be doing such, yes. Because to be quite candid, it is a very, very important feature for new residents moving in. It's something we need to do to be competitive, and to be honest, it's important. All right, where are we at next? Let's see, we'll give Phil a shot.
Some of the portions that I have received in my dinner are children's portions. I have never seen such a reduction. Last night, for the first time, they didn't buy dessert. The fruit cup was not a fruit cup. The fruit cup was more like a thimble cup. I know that you're struggling with inflation, but I think you're overdoing it.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that you had a thimble full of fruit instead of a cup full of fruit. And we are not cutting back on anything due to inflation, and I'm sorry if you got a small portion. And what I would suggest, as we always do with any of you, if there's anything that you're dissatisfied with, please call. I know it's a little harder when it's the nights where it's takeout and you go back to your apartment and then you realize something might not quite be enough for you or quite right. But still, please call so we can make that correction in the moment for you. We'd be happy to do so. There was no intentional reduction of anything, Phil, so I'm sorry about that.
Salmon is one of the mainstays of my diet. The salmon portions have definitely been reduced.
Yeah, what I would suggest, Phil, is you talk to Mike specifically about that, because he can talk to you about the portion sizes and how we make sure we have uniformity there. All right.
What can you do about the residents that put their garbage out, line it up on the wall as soon as we open up our door? It's lined up a day before it's supposed to be picked up, or 2 days. We've told Dale, Dale's been wonderful, not done anything, but it continues. And it looks terrible, it looks like a garbage dump. I wouldn't have moved in here if I had seen all that when we came.
And that's why we're continuing to work through some different ideas on how to handle this, Mrs. Penner. You know, it is everyone's responsibility to follow the rules, and we have a responsibility to one another to follow the rules as well. And that's why we're also investigating other methods and other models that might be easier for all of us at this point.
Previously, we've had a dietitian come, and I think she was very well received. I know on a personal level, I had a few questions I would like to ask her. I wonder if we could have her come back.
Yeah, you just have to contact Mike, and he can get you in touch with Tinsy, who is our dietitian.
Mike and Dining.
Mike and Dining can help set that up for you, Millie. Absolutely.
Terrific. Yes, she was very well received.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bob.
Good morning. I have first two questions about dining. One is, where are we in terms of hiring wait staff? What's our target, and how close are we to that target?
Our target is about 30. We need about 30 kids to be able to adequately staff and provide adequate days off for 7-day-a-week dining. Right now, we're probably what, Mike, at about 18? Give or take?
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're actually, trying to push the kids into the days so that we can have the most service that we can for you. It remains a struggle at every single one of our communities, at every single place I have been from a dining perspective, even fast food places, even Wawas and Quick Checks. It's a struggle in that market right now.
So the second question has to do with the new dining services company. What measures have you taken to retain sufficient local control of the quality and character of our dining?
Absolutely. See this guy over here? His name's Mike Wierzbowski.
Yeah.
He's the director of dining services. He's still going to be the director of dining services afterwards. The contract company does not tell us what we do. They work for us. We tell them what we do. Mike will remain a part of our team, and he will remain in control of what we do.
And so does Mike have a reporting relationship to you?
Yes.
He will continue.
That will not change.
Okay, very good. Next question. When are you scheduled to repave the asphalt walkways that are between wings but not adjacent to a parking lot?
Yes, they are part of the process. We are going through bit by bit around the campus. The spring work was the concrete work and the asphalt out back. We'll continue to work through those bit by bit around the campus.
Okay, and finally, in the Gateway project, is anyone besides me concerned about the lack of visibility of our entrance sign? I find that even though I know exactly where it is, I still have a tendency to almost pass it by.
Yep. So the entrance sign is a challenging one because we are on a county roadway. We do not have the ability to go any further out from a right-of-way standpoint. However, what we can and what we will do, and if you look at the pictures, you'll notice some of the landscaping that is in front of the sign is going away, which should give the sign itself more visibility. We cannot move it further out toward the roadway, though.
Are you also reducing the landscaping on the side of the road that would interfere with seeing the sign?
We are looking right now at the center island itself. If after we do the other work, we think other removal of landscape is necessary, we can certainly take a look at that once the project's done.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Or you all want to get started on World Cocktail Day?
Dry martini.
Dry martini? I could go for a dry martini. Actually, I found a bourbon lately that I really like. That is, it's from Knob Creek. It's a maple bourbon. If you like things that are a touch sweet, you serve it real cold.
Vodka.
Not bad. Well, vodka cold is good too. I'll take just about anything cold and straight up, trust me. So, well, with that, we'd like to thank you all very, very much for your time today. We had another great turnout, a lot of good participation and information. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Gateway, there are some pictures in the back that will show you what our plan is and how we want to do it. Susan also has additional information. And as always, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We are here to serve you, and we do appreciate all you do for us. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.